What is up, everybody? You're listening to the Raw Hour podcast, and today we're here to talk about the long-awaited Young Sinatra 5 album by Logic. So last night at 12 midnight, Logic dropped his final Young Sinatra album, and I'm so happy to say that I somewhat enjoyed this album. Alright, I lied. I really enjoyed the album, but before you guys jump on top of me and go, hey man, you're always talking shit on Logic, you're just jumping on the train, let me explain why I really enjoyed this album. So going into the project, during the first 10 seconds or so, we can already see that we are picking up right where we left off during The Incredible True Story. And that, to me, made me the happiest person on this whole entire world. Because if you listen to my last episode, then you would remember me saying that besides Under Pressure, that The Incredible True Story was another one of my favorite albums by Logic, simply because all the songs were different. And most importantly, the story behind the album was absolutely glorifying. So to come into this album with such a negative premeditative thoughts, and to hear that we are picking up right where we left off in that previous album, felt like the whole weight of the world got lifted off of my shoulders. And I also forgot that this was a Young Sinatra album, so the story continuing on from this album and getting the boom bap instrumentals that we are getting because it's a Young Sinatra album is just the icing on the cake, to be honest. And during this first song, it really starts to show in the way that the drums send you back. And I feel like Logic heard every negative thing that I've ever said about him, because the lyrics and the verses were pretty good. And the melody in the chorus is really beautiful, actually amazing. And his voice layered over Lucy Rose's voice is really pleasing. And I know it sounds really corny, but I shed a fucking tear while listening to this first song during the part where he plays us all of the voicemails from his fans, telling him that they love him and telling him all of the things that he's done to change their lives. And I only have one reason for tearing up, and it's because I've literally been listening to Logic since I was about 11 years old. So it's almost 7 years now. Yeah, about 7 years, almost 8 years. And to see what he has accomplished, and though I don't like all the music that he puts out, I can't deny, and no one can deny, that he's made it bigger than anyone at that time when he came out. And he did it without the face tattoos. He did it without gangbanging. He did it without the dreadlocks and getting into petty beef. He made it because of his music. And it's really crazy because when I say that he surpassed all of my expectations when it comes to this album, I mean it. He really did. We didn't get any of the repetitive lyrics that we usually get from Logic, and the instrumentals are fucking insane. And I love the random fast raps that he throws into songs. I love Logic when he raps fast anyways, especially on the song 100 miles per hour with Wale, just because they're ripping it at you. And it fits really well with the theme of the song because it's called 100 miles per hour, so why not rap fast? And I'll be honest, I skipped some of the singles that I heard already just because I didn't really enjoy them pre the album. But other than that, Bobby Tarantino performed really well on the project. This album is really just Logic's fuck you album. If this album was a person, they would be doing Fortnite dances in my face saying, ha ha ha, you said I couldn't do it like this. It really made me feel dumb while listening to it. Just because I know that before I said so many things that were going to be bad about the album, and it really surpassed my expectations. Actually, while recording this, there is one single that I really do enjoy, and that's the song One Day. The concept is beautiful. The music sounds amazing. on top of the vocals that we get from Ryan Tedder, and coming from a person that has never heard any of his music, this was a really good introduction song. And if you have not watched the video for that, I highly suggest it, because it's like watching a 3-minute short film, like a 3-minute movie. And that's something else I really commend Logic for. His music videos are absolutely stunning, that he comes out with. And it kind of reminds me of J. Cole's music videos. J. Cole's videos are like little tiny movies to go along with his soundtracks. And I know I said in my last episode that Logic could make a Wu-Tang feature sound bad, but I'm gonna come out and say it now. The Wu-Tang Forever song is crazy. When Ghostface comes in and everything after that, it's dumb fire. Until we get to the rapper after Ghostface, I forget who it is, and I wouldn't be able to tell you now. But it was trash, man. Like, it was offbeat. It sounded weird. It just didn't vibe with me. And I think that Logic carried himself well in the song, if we're talking about bars, but I also feel like he could have melted himself into the song a little bit, meaning that he had the first verse, but since the song was so extended time-wise, by the time you're 5 minutes in, you're like, wait, did Logic even have a verse? So I feel like if he could have melted himself like somewhere in the middle, it would have sounded a lot better, because other than that, it sounded like a Wu-Tang song featuring Logic. And if there's one thing that I could pick out to complain about, it would be that Logic has the tendency to make really good songs that seem like they hang on a little bit too long in the track, meaning that the song, like the song with Wu-Tang, was about 7 or 8 minutes, and I feel like 5 minutes through, I started to drift away from the song, and I found myself looking at the time to see how much time was left, and it just went for a little bit of an extended period of time. And I also feel like this song could have definitely used, not the song, this album could have definitely used some comedic skits to give us a break from the music. The song Iconic said that I featured Jaden Smith, but he had a line in the song, and that was it. So I felt teased because I like Jaden Smith as an artist, and so not getting any bars or getting to hear any bars from him was kind of upsetting. But again, he could have made Jaden Smith into a skit. I feel like we got a lot of music, but he could have broke it up a little bit, because he's really good at giving us those comedic breaks. So I didn't find a lot of things that I had to say that were negative about the album, and that's a really good thing, and that makes me happy. I would go as far to say that this could be a contender for one of his best albums. And we got a confirmation in another song for his next album, Ultra 85, that he teased like 2 years ago. So Ultra 85 is still coming out, and so that's really exciting. And I know that Ultra 85 is going to continue the story also from The Incredible True Story. So these 3 albums together, continuing that whole thing, is really, really cool. So those are my thoughts on the Young Sinatra 5 album. Let me know what you guys thought about the album in the comment section below. Subscribe to the podcast if you enjoy, and if not, then leave us a comment on why you didn't enjoy it. Share us around with your friends, and that's all I have to say. I will talk to you guys in the next episode, and peace out.